Welcome back to FM Story. We're into the second half of season 4 of the South American Glory Hunt to save. Our only aim this season is to win the Copa do Brasil. It's probably our last season at Internacional, no matter what, because we can't afford to spend too much more time in Brazil with the other leagues that we need to do things in. But this season has gone pretty well so far. We've only lost one game in all competitions, which was our last league game at the end of the last episode against Bragantino. We're into the semi-finals of the Copa do Brasil, where we've been drawn against Atletico Mineiro. So without further ado, let's get into the action. So we're into August and it's time for the Copa do Brasil semi-final first leg. We're at home against Atletico Mineiro. In terms of transfers, thankfully we've been able to hold on to our key players. We've had more offers for Tau and Lara, more offers for Alexander Aravena. We've managed to turn them all down. Lara has a release fee in his contract, but that hasn't been triggered yet. Aravena doesn't. And we've just turned down 32.5 million for him from Newcastle. He's going to be a key player for us for this Copa do Brasil campaign, so there's no sense in selling him. We have moved one more player on since the end of the last episode, which is a young defender who was nowhere near the first team. He's gone to Napoli. We are currently trying to bring in another midfielder in Wendell. The board put an extra 7.5 million in the transfer kitty, which has enabled us to go in and look at Wendell, who is currently transfer listed at Juventus. And I think that would just give us, in that central midfield role, alongside Mauricio and Claudinho and Alanzinho and all those players, just an extra bit of quality. Unfortunately, it's not done yet, so he's not available, certainly for this first leg. Hopefully we'll have him in for the second leg. And then we ended the last episode with that 2-1 defeat against Bragantino. Since then, we've returned to form. We've won every game. We beat Fortaleza 6-0. We beat Fluminense 2-0. We beat Atletico Mineiro 3-0 away from home. It did take us a while to break them down, though. And then in the Copa Libertadores, we won 3-0 away at Fortaleza. We won 3-2 at home against Bragantino in the league. We won 6-0 at home in the Copa Libertadores to see us into the quarter-final, where we've been drawn against Atletico Mineiro. So we've got 2 games in August coming up in the Copa do Brasil semi-final against them, and 2 games in August coming up in the Copa Libertadores quarter-final. Most recently, game we won 4-3 at home against Sao Paulo. So we go into this first leg against Atletico Mineiro in good form. We have a fully fit, fully available squad to choose from as well. So hopefully we can go in and put in a performance in this first leg to put us in a strong position. So this is the side we've picked for the first leg of the semi-final. Obviously, we've got relatively new signings in Beraldo and Fabinho, who are into the starting lineup, and hopefully we've got enough to repeat what we did against Atletico Mineiro recently in the league away from home and pick up a victory here to put us in a good position for the second leg. Right, Tau and Lara with a free kick for us into the box. Someone's got a head on it. At the back post, Beraldo coming in, heads home from a narrow angle, puts us in front. And looking at the match stats, we've come out the blocks flying again. Although this is the first highlight, we've had 5 shots before this, 61% possession. The header looped towards that post. Beraldo gets his head on it. So everyone's well on side. Otavio gets up, heads it towards goal. It was going wide, but Beraldo diverts it in. Right, a corner for them. Andrew comes and claims it. And then gives it to Beraldo. Fabinho into Mauricio. Aravena on the right didn't get there. And now we're inviting them back onto us here. We forced them back to the keeper though. bit of a short back pass to the keeper, but he deals with it. Now Lamas putting pressure on the defender, wins it back, and there's Aravena to fire past the keeper, and they've gifted us that second goal. It's a bit of a short back pass for the keeper. He gives it back to his defender, who's harassed by Lamas, who sticks a toe in, and then Aravena fires it past the keeper that wasn't ready for the shot coming in. Right, Mauricio with a corner into the near post. It went all just over the top of Otavio's head. Fabinho back to Mauricio to the byline, crosses it. Aravena gets a second, 3-0 before half time, and we are absolutely flying in this first leg. So Fabinho just finds Mauricio in space. He just drives to the byline, cross to the near post, and Aravena stoops to head it home. And there we are, half-time, 3-0 up, and in a really strong position, and hopefully more of the same in the second half, please. Right, we sent the same team out to start the second half. Tau and Lara to Claudinho, back to Lara. He loses out on the touchline there, and now they're breaking. Otavio wins it back though. Mauricio cuts onto his left foot. It falls for Claudinho, and it's turned behind by the keeper for a corner. Mauricio to take it. Whips it towards the far post. They've headed clear as far as Aravena. Pulls it back to Fabinho. Lara finds its way to Mauricio. We try to open up the space for a shot and can't get the shot off. Right, we made some substitutions. We made some changes in the middle of the pitch. We had a couple of yellow cards there and a couple of players struggling fitness-wise. Aravena with a corner to the near post. Lamas with a flicked header just over the top. Right, Lara with the throw. Semenyo back to Lara. Semenyo again. Cutting in field. It finds its way to Lamas, who turns into the box and just passes it past the keeper. 4-0. And this is a really strong position, hopefully, to take into the second leg. Let's just hope we don't do anything to throw away a couple of goals in this, what's left of this first leg. Just turns well and just beats the keeper. Right, Alanzino with a free kick into the box. Semenyo picks up the loose ball on the left, finds Tau and Lara, drives to the byline, low cross, turned home in the end by the defender, and that's 5-0. So the free kick was headed clear. Semenyo drifted out. Lara just drives to the byline. And the defender in front of Basic just pokes it past his own keeper. Right, so the keeper's come and claimed a cross there and thrown it out. And they're trying to beat the press there. Down the right-hand side. They've worked it into the box. And they've got a goal back. And hopefully that doesn't cost us too much in the grand scheme of the whole tie. It's far too easy the way they beat the press. Far too easy the way they got into the box. Well onside as well. Right, a free kick for them. They're putting some pressure on late here. Short, worked into the box, and luckily Andrew makes a good save to stop him getting a second. Corner towards the far post. We've got a head on it, and then Andrew, luckily, it just loops into his arms. And there we are, full time. Despite that late goal, we're going to the second leg with a comfortable 4-goal advantage on aggregate. And yeah, hopefully we can make out. Hopefully we don't just throw the game away in the second leg, but hopefully we can make this the final for the second time in the save to hopefully go one better and win the trophy this season. So it's time for the second leg of the semi-final. Obviously, we go into the game with a 4-goal advantage on aggregate. If we win, we're going to be playing Flamengo, who've beaten Sao Paulo on penalties in the other semi-final. We have played one game in the league since the first leg, which was against Palmeiras. We didn't start the game particularly well. Wendell, who we've got signed from Juventus, on his debut came up with a brace, but we needed Fabinho to come off the bench to score a 96th minute penalty to secure the 3 points. But hopefully we've got enough to see us through without throwing this tie away in rather dramatic fashion. So it's 4-3-3 against a 4-2-3-1. Fabinho booked after a minute isn't the best of starts, but there's very little happening in this opening 15 minutes. They've got a throw now. They're attacking down their left. It's into the box. Fabinho's made a challenge. The referee's given a penalty. Luckily, he doesn't get a second yellow card for that. Arana sends Andrew the wrong way and reduces the aggregate lead to 3 goals. And we're going to need to wake up here because that is not the start we needed to this game. Now they've got a free kick deep in their half. Try to pass the way out. Down their right, Lara gets a foot in. Semenyo back to Otavio. Lara infield to Fabinho. Otavio now finds Fabinho again. Out to Aravena. Bustos on the overlap. Into the box to Lamas. And from point blank range, the keeper's turned it over. Aravena with the corner. Towards the far post. And the keeper comes and claims it. Corner for them, short. Aravena's got it on the edge of our box, goes long. Semenyo nods it down for Mauricio, who loses out. And we're just inviting them back onto us here. Arana looking to go all the way around the outside on the left. Pulls it back into the box. And that's 2-0 on the night for them. And now we're just 2 goals ahead on aggregate. Otavio with the own goal. And we need to wake up. Another free kick for them. Gone for goal. And luckily it's wide of the post. I did think for a second that was in. And there we are, half-time, 2-0 down. They've done half the job of getting the tie back level. And we have been absolutely atrocious in that first half. That is by far and away the worst half of football we've played all season. And we need to be much, much better in the second half. Right, we've given them a bit of a rocket at half-time, sent the same team out to start the second half. Hopefully they're going to overextend and we can pick them off on the counter-attack. But they've got a free kick in our half. They've gone short on the back. But this is far too easy. They're inside Lara on that left. And from a 4-goal advantage at the end of the first leg, we're back to 1-goal advantage now. And the question is, who do we take off? Because no one's exactly covered themselves in glory in this first 50 minutes. Right, we made 4 changes. 2 at the back, 1 in midfield and 1 wide. See if we can get ourselves back into this. But we've given away another penalty. Arana stepping up to take his second penalty of the game. This time goes down the middle. And that's levelled it at 5-5 on aggregate. How have we thrown this away? I don't think we've even seen a chance for us yet. Right, we want it back. Claudinho loses it. Mauricio to Barrios on his left. Back to Paz. Barrios. Mauricio looking for Claudinho. It's been nicked off him, but Beraldo steps forward to win it. He's gone rampaging down the right. Aravena in. Claudinho's shot's blocked. And they've hammered it upfield, and now we've got 2v2 at the back. Over the top. And behind for a goal kick. Right, back to Andrew. Over the top for Kevison down the left-hand side. He's got it back. Barrios now. Low cross into the box. This just isn't our day. How that didn't fall to the on-rushing player, I don't know. Kevison now pulls it back, and Barrios' shot's deflected behind for a corner. Aravena to take it. And it's straight into the keeper's hands. Right, they've rolled it out from the back. And this is far too... They're just passing around us now. Oh my God. They've scored 5 without reply. We're now behind. What on earth is going on? Right, Andrew with the goal kick. Out to Bustos. Aravena infield to Claudinho. Wide to Kevison. Driving forwards. He's gone back though to Paz. Kevison into Fabinho. Kevison. Mauricio to Barrios in the box now. Squares it. Cadinho scores. Levels it at 6-6 on aggregate. And there's still 7 minutes of the game left. The first time we've actually... Well, I mean, prior to this, it looked like we could play for about 3 or 4 games without scoring. Into injury time, 6 minutes of it to be played. They've got a late throw. They've got the ball. They've come away from goal, but now they're in behind. It's just so ridiculously bad. How have we managed to throw that away? 5-1 up after the first leg, and we've gone out 7-6 on aggregate. I guess the Copa do Brasil and International during this save just isn't meant to be. We are now at the end of September, and unfortunately, after knocking us out of the Copa do Brasil in the semi-final stage, Atletico Mineiro managed to knock us out in the quarterfinal of the Copa Libertadores as well. We lost the away leg 3-1. We drew the home leg 2-2. It didn't help that we had our best goal scorer sent off after 14 minutes. So we end the episode on a bit of a down note. We've picked our form back up a bit in the league. We are 13 points clear at the top of the table, so surely only a matter of time before we make it 4 league wins from 4. However, it's probably time to start looking to move on. Whether that's, it depends whether there's a job comes up before the end of the season that is a one that would allow us to move forward. There are a few jobs available in Chile. Colo Colo is probably the only one that would have us stand a chance of winning something. Audax, the other one that's available, is 12th. La Serena are 14th, both fighting against relegation. Colo Colo are currently in a place to qualify for the Copa Sudamericana. So it may be a one that we look at, although they have not had the best of seasons. So some thought to be going into that, but certainly we're going to keep looking at the jobs that become available before the end of the season to see if there's a... Certainly we're going to look at the jobs that become available before the end of the season to see if there is a one that we can move to that'll stand us in good stead going forward. Looking at the insecure jobs, obviously we don't need to bother with Brazil apart from needing to win that Copa do Brazil, but in Argentina, I don't think there's any that are really going to stand out. Atletico Nacional is still available, or is potentially going to come available again in Colombia. Now, that was a job we did consider last off-season. They've since changed the manager, and now the manager's insecure, largely because of what they did in the opening stage of the league season, because I think they are top of the league in the Clausura. But other than that, there's not much in the way of jobs that may become available that'll potentially stand us in good stead. So it may be that we do look to move to Colo Colo, but we'll obviously consider that more as in the next episode as we end this 4th season. So join us next time as we look for a new job, potentially finish the season with International, look to wrap up a 4th successive league title, and then see where we can move on from there.